The enchanting allure of French cottage gardens finds new expression in modern patio design, where weathered stone paths wind through abundant climbing roses and fragrant lavender borders. This timeless style combines the casual elegance of French country living with the intimate charm of secret garden spaces. Natural elements like aged stone fountains, antique terracotta pots, and wrought iron garden furniture create an atmosphere that feels both sophisticated and wonderfully lived in, perfect for springtime entertaining and quiet moments of reflection.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Spring patio decor ideas. French cottage farmhouse inspiration for secret garden spaces. Modern interpretation of classic design. Contemporary interpretations of French cottage style embrace the essence of provincial charm while adapting to modern outdoor living needs. Vintage zinc planters overflow with climbing clematis, while handwoven willow screens create private nooks for intimate seating areas. These thoughtfully designed spaces prove that even modest patios can capture the romance and sophistication of French countryside gardens while providing practical spaces for today's lifestyle. Sustainable garden design. The principles of French cottage gardening naturally align with sustainable practices, emphasizing local materials, drought-resistant Mediterranean plants, and natural pest control methods. By incorporating elements like rainwater collection in vintage copper vessels, companion planting in antique stone troughs, and solar-powered lanterns in aged brass finishes, these gardens honor traditional wisdom while embracing environmental responsibility. One. Charming outdoor retreats, blending French cottage farmhouse elegance with spring patio designs. creating intimate garden rooms. The art of French cottage patio design begins with defining intimate spaces through artful arrangement of indoor-outdoor furniture, vintage home decor, and architectural salvage pieces. Weathered stone walls draped in climbing roses frame outdoor living spaces furnished with Belgian linen cushions, vintage enamelware collections, and hand-painted ceramic accents. Rustic wooden pergolas covered in wisteria create natural canopies over French bistro dining sets, while antique armoires repurposed for outdoor storage display collections of vintage garden tools and chinoiserie pottery. Reclaimed limestone pathways, lined with copper lanterns and vintage zinc planters, lead visitors through a carefully curated journey of French country design elements. Layer of time and texture. Authentic French cottage style embodies a sense of history and accumulated charm. Antique garden furniture with peeling paint, moss-covered stone features, and time-worn architectural salvage pieces create depth and character. These elements are softened by billowing masses of cottage garden flowers and trailing vines that seem to have grown naturally over generations. Seasonal planning for continuous beauty. Successful French cottage gardens maintain interest throughout the spring season through careful plant selection and arrangement. Early blooming bulbs give way to classic cottage perennials, while structured elements like handcrafted willow obelisks and weathered stone planters provide permanent visual anchors. Create authentic French cottage charm with vintage garden tools repurposed as wall art, collected terracotta pots in various sizes and ages, wrought iron plant supports with natural patina, and architectural salvage pieces as garden focal points. Essential elements include climbing roses selected for fragrance and repeat blooming, Mediterranean herbs for both beauty and function, and classic garden structures in weathered materials. 2. Rustic accents and floral delights, creating a secret garden escape in your patio space. Vintage elements and natural materials. The essence of French cottage style lies in the artful combination of rustic materials and abundant florals. Weathered wooden tables adorned with zinc flower buckets, antique garden gates repurposed as wall art, and collected vintage watering cans create authentic charm. These time-worn elements provide perfect companions for climbing roses, fragrant sweet peas, and cascading clematis that bring the space to life in spring. Creating hidden moments. Secret garden spaces emerge through thoughtful placement of screening elements and surprise features. Handwoven willow panels, tall ornamental grasses, and climbing vines on weathered trellises create private nooks, while unexpected elements like vintage mirror fragments and antique garden bells add moments of discovery and delight. Practical beauty in design. French cottage gardens balance ornamental beauty with practical function. Herb gardens in antique stone troughs, espaliered fruit trees along sun-warmed walls, and edible flowers mixed with ornamental blooms create spaces that are both beautiful and productive. Incorporate authentic rustic elements through locally sourced natural stone for pathways, reclaimed wooden beams for pergolas, vintage garden tools as decorative elements, and antique market finds for unique garden art. Consider proper drainage solutions for gravel paths, weather-resistant finishes for wooden elements, and appropriate support systems for climbing plants. 3. Lush greenery and cozy furniture. Transform your patio into a French cottage haven. Comfortable seating arrangements. Creating inviting outdoor rooms begins with thoughtfully arranged French country furniture that encourages lingering conversations. Weathered wooden benches cushioned with 12 fabrics, vintage-inspired metal bistro sets, handwoven rattan armchairs, and painted cottage furniture create comfortable spaces that capture casual elegance. Layered textiles including ticking stripes, vintage grain sacks, and muted floral prints add depth, while collections of antique copper vessels, vintage pottery, and aged garden ornaments create decorative focal points throughout the space. Each seating area becomes a destination within the garden, styled with distressed painted side tables, vintage market baskets, and coordinated throw pillows in classic French patterns. Plant selection and arrangement. The lush abundance of French cottage style relies on careful plant selection and layered placement. Boxwood spheres in weathered stone urns provide structure, while climbing roses and flowering vines soften architectural elements. Masses of lavender, catmint, and Russian sage create waves of color and fragrance throughout the spring season. All-weather comfort. Extending the use of outdoor spaces requires practical solutions that maintain French cottage charm. Vintage-inspired outdoor fabrics, weathered canvas awnings, and rustic wooden pergolas draped with flowering vines provide shelter while enhancing the garden's romantic atmosphere. Create comfortable outdoor living with weather-resistant cushions and vintage-inspired prints, proper shade solutions using natural materials, adequate lighting for evening use, and appropriate storage for seasonal items. Essential elements include transitional spaces between indoors and out, proper drainage for paved areas, and flexible seating arrangements for various gathering sizes. Four. Timeless spring charm, French farmhouse-inspired decor for secret garden patios. Architectural elements and structure. Creating timeless garden spaces begins with architectural features that mirror indoor decor elements. Weathered stone walls adorned with vintage window frames, antiqued mirrors, and European-inspired wall fountains establish the framework for French cottage charm. Indoor-outdoor rugs in faded patterns, rustic wooden furniture with chippy paint finishes, and collections of vintage garden accessories create cohesive design transitions. Reclaimed architectural elements like old doors, shutters, and iron gates serve as both structural features and decorative focal points, complemented by carefully chosen cottage furniture and provincial-style accessories. Decorative details and patina. The beauty of French cottage style lies in its collected, curated feel. Vintage garden ornaments with natural patina, aged zinc planters filled with spring bulbs, and antique architectural fragments used as wall art add layers of history and interest. Each piece tells a story and contributes to the garden's authentic character. Seasonal color planning. Thoughtful plant selection ensures continuous color and interest throughout spring. Early flowering bulbs give way to classic cottage perennials, while carefully placed containers allow for seasonal color updates that maintain the garden's fresh, romantic appearance. Enhance seasonal beauty with succession planting plans for continuous blooms, proper plant support systems installed early in the season, vintage containers in varying heights for visual interest, and appropriate tools for maintenance. Consider microclimate effects on plant choices, proper spacing for mature growth, and color coordination throughout the blooming season. Five. Spring blooms and rustic touches, perfecting the art of patio garden decor. Floral abundance and structure. The signature look of French cottage gardens combines structured elements with seemingly casual floral abundance. Formal boxwood hedges provide backdrop for billowing roses, while orderly lavender borders frame exuberant flowering perennials. This balance of control and chaos creates the romantic yet sophisticated atmosphere characteristic of French garden design. Personal collections and character. Individual character emerges through thoughtfully displayed collections of garden antiques and architectural salvage. Vintage garden tools arranged on weathered doors, collections of terracotta pots in varying sizes and ages, and carefully chosen architectural pieces create unique focal points throughout the garden. Natural materials and textures. Incorporating natural materials adds depth and authenticity to the garden design. Gravel paths crunching underfoot, rough stone walls supporting climbing roses, and wooden pergolas weathering to a natural gray provide sensory richness that enhances the garden experience. Create authentic character with collected vintage pieces that serve both practical and decorative purposes, natural materials that weather beautifully, appropriate plant supports that become garden features, and proper maintenance tools for different materials. Six. From patio to paradise, French cottage farmhouse ideas for an enchanting spring garden. Creating garden destinations. Transform simple patio spaces into enchanting destinations through thoughtful design elements. Vintage iron gates leading to intimate seating areas, weathered stone fountains providing gentle sound, and antique garden benches placed to capture perfect views create a sense of journey and discovery. Each corner becomes a potential destination for quiet reflection or intimate gatherings. Living garden elements. The integration of living elements brings French cottage gardens to life. Bird baths carved from reclaimed stone, pollinator-friendly flowering herbs, and habitat supporting native plants create an ecosystem that enhances the garden experience. These elements add movement, sound, and ever-changing interest to the space. Evening garden magic. Extending the garden's charm into evening hours requires thoughtful lighting design. Solar-powered lanterns in vintage styles, candlelit hurricanes with aged patina, and subtle path lighting create magical environments for evening enjoyment while maintaining the garden's romantic atmosphere. Design enchanting garden spaces with proper lighting at different heights, comfortable seating for various times of day, water features for ambient sound, and strategic placement of fragrant plants near seating areas. Essential elements include wildlife-friendly plant choices, proper evening illumination, and comfortable gathering spaces. Seven. Elegant outdoor living. Infuse your patio with spring vibes and cottage farmhouse flair. Refined rustic style. Achieving elegant outdoor living while maintaining French cottage charm requires careful balance. Sophisticated outdoor furniture with weathered finishes, antique garden accessories thoughtfully arranged, and classic architectural elements create refined spaces that remain true to cottage style. This approach combines comfort with character while maintaining the garden's authentic appeal. Practical elegance. Functional elements receive elegant treatment through thoughtful design choices. Potting benches crafted from reclaimed materials, tool storage in antique armoires, and practical features like garden hoses hidden in vintage copper containers maintain both beauty and function. Seasonal celebrations. French cottage gardens naturally lend themselves to seasonal entertaining. Creating spaces for outdoor dining, arranging comfortable conversation areas, and including practical elements for gatherings allows the garden to serve as an extension of indoor living space. Create elegant outdoor living spaces with proper furniture arrangement for flow and function, weather-resistant materials that maintain sophistication, adequate storage solutions for practical items, and appropriate maintenance schedules to keep spaces inviting. Conclusion. The evolution of French cottage style. The enduring appeal of French cottage garden style lies in its ability to combine romantic charm with practical function. These thoughtfully designed spaces prove that even modest patios can achieve the enchanting atmosphere of traditional French gardens while meeting contemporary needs. Sustainable garden beauty. By incorporating traditional garden wisdom with modern environmental consciousness, French cottage gardens create beautiful, sustainable outdoor spaces. This approach ensures gardens that will continue to evolve and thrive while maintaining their romantic charm. Personal paradise. The beauty of French cottage style lies in its adaptability to personal taste and needs. Through careful selection of elements, thoughtful design choices, and creative solutions, each garden becomes a unique expression of its owner's style while maintaining the timeless appeal of French cottage charm.